Hey everybody! So today I will be talking to you about raising little baby fish, or fry as some people call them. I currently have 7 baby cichlids, which are known as fry, and I'm currently raising them in a breeding little container. This container is pretty nice because it actually has slits on the bottom of it and on the sides to basically let it actually go into the water. You get all the filtration that the water that the tank it's currently in has without them actually being the actual tank that they're in. These are pretty nice, pretty nifty, and there's a couple things you could do. One is if you know that you have a pregnant female, you could put her in there until she releases her babies. The downside of that, though, is that sometimes the mother might actually be too stressed out by this closed environment where she will either release the babies and, she'll end up eating them, or she'll just end up swallowing the babies and, nothing ever really happens. That happened to me once with a pregnant female cichlid. But as for live-bearing fish like guppies or danios, you probably shouldn't have too much of an issue just because they release it not through their mouth, but through their actual back end area. Yeah, so that's what I'm using right now. I have these baby cichlids inside of my Nano Tank with my other baby cichlids that are actually growing. So these guys on here are about 3 to 4 months old, and these guys are roughly 2 weeks now, so that's the difference between those two. Now, one thing about feeding. As you know, baby fish are very, very tiny. You could get away with taking, your normal food that you feed other fish. Like I have a mix of omega-1 veggie flakes and also omega-1 super color flakes. And you could take those, put them in your hand, as I will demonstrate here, and basically grind them into a fine powder. So, here is a little bit of the flakes, and you just really want to grind it with your fingers until it becomes like powdery, very small, tiny little mini flakes. Okay, that's one thing you could do. Another thing you could do, which I buy whenever I have baby cichlids, is this thing by Hikari. It's called First Bites. The reason why this is so awesome is because the food in here is already very, very tiny. So I will take out a little bit, and I will show you what that looks like. It's a very small package of food, but it will last you a while just because, it's not like you're feeding your cichlids every couple hours. You're just feeding them at least once a day, maybe once every other day. It's because you don't want them to get too, and when you are feeding them, you're just feeding them a little bit. So I've taken out a little, and I'd recommend getting something along the lines of like a nail clipper or something, just to dig out or scoop out just a little bit. So that's what I have right now. So you take off the top of your tank, or lift it up, and there's actually a nice little hole up there for you to I apologize about this, for you to just dump the food in without really having to lift the top off. Now, it's good to have the top on because worst comes to worst, if something, if it gets really current, there's a lot of current, it might knock your fish out. So what you do is you just tap a little bit in, and then it falls. Alright. So as you can see here, all the baby cichlids are now going up to the top of the tank and eating all that food that's up there, and it does slowly drift down so they can eat it as it falls as well. It's a very good deal for food for baby cichlids or baby fish. Alright, so that again, it's called First Bites, and it's by Hikari. Alright, now second off, you're going to have baby cichlids for a while. Like I said, these guys down here are at least 3 to 4 months, and they're only about an inch.